Hello wrestling world, and welcome to Wrestling on the Rise, where we talk anything and everything wrestling. I'm Rich Michaels, and as promised on this week's show, a one-on-one sit-down interview with the amazing Canadian Lionel Knight. I also got a recap from New Japan's Dominion in Osaka, and not much to talk about in WWE, but I got some news for you from Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT. I also got my up and down of the week, my match of the week, and the what moves you of the week will intrigue you. Trust me, Wrestling World, this episode is very enjoyable. So sit back, relax, join us the conversation on Twitter at Wrestling on the One. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling on the One. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wrestling on the Rise. Don't forget to use the hashtag Wrestling on the Rise. And let's get started. Let's start off with New Japan news. For New Japan, Dominion in Osaka results. And honestly, New Japan knows how to put on a show. And wrestling fans, mind you, I am not Japanese. I do not know how to speak Japanese. So some of these words, I will try my hardest to say them. First up, the Young Bucks regained the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships as they defeated Pungi Vice in an always interesting match between those two teams. The Gorillas of Destiny defeated War Machine to once again become IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, so which means Bullet Club owns both tag team titles, and which is pretty awesome and good for both. Cody defeated Michael Elgin, and after the match, Cody expresses interest in Okada, which kind of shows no faith in Omega for their match later on. But you know, Cody, he does what he wants, right? And also, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship was changed hands as Kushida defeated Himuro Takahashi in an explosive match, because, you know, ticking time bomb, explosive. The leader of Suzuki Gun, Suzuki, defeated Goto in a lumberjack death match for the Never Openweight Championship. Tetsuya Naito lost his IWGP Intercontinental Championship to Hiroshi Tanahashi. And Kenny Omega and Okada fought into a draw as their 60-minute time limit expired, which means Okada is still your IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Now, wrestling fans, there's only one word to describe this event as a whole, and that's awesome. I mean, Okada and Omega once again put on a Match of the Year candidate, and some will agree with me as it is a match of the decade. Honestly, I don't know what could put up with these guys. Still in New Japan news, New Japan is trying to crown the very first IWGP US Heavyweight Champion at their G1 special in USA on July the 1st and 2nd. The tournament consists of 8 New Japan superstars, and the first round matchups are Naito versus Ishii, Juice Robinson versus Zack Sabre Jr., Jay Lethal versus Hangman Page, and Michael Elgin versus Kenny Omega. And now for some Raw news. Well, Raw began in a big brawl between Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe as these guys got into an intense brawl which security could not pull them apart, so the locker room was cleared to come separate these beasts before they tore each other apart. Nothing could be solved, so I went on Twitter and I had a poll on which brawl you think was better that Brock was in. Was it Cena and Brock, or Undertaker and Brock, or Samoa Joe and Brock? And 75% of you guys voted that Undertaker and Brock brawl was simply the best, hands down. Well, thank you everybody for voting. And still on Raw news, Big Cass was once again attacked backstage. And again, the Revival was seen walking around the crime scene. I mean, I'm not convinced that the Revival did it. I really don't know who did it. Or do I? Anyways, the Raw Tag Team titles were defended in a 2 out of 3 falls match as Cesaro and Sheamus defeated the Hardy Boys in an entertaining matchup. For SmackDown Live news, actually there's not much to say here, just that Money in the Bank pay-per-view is taking part on Sunday. And kind of excited to see this ladder match, and honestly I think the women's Money in the Bank ladder match is probably the greatest thing WWE has ever did for this women's revolution. I mean, Hell in a Cell was great, street fights are awesome, but honestly, ladder matches are where legends are born. If you don't believe me, ask Shawn Michaels and the Hardy Boys. Okay? Enough said there. Lana proved me wrong this week, everybody, as she stepped into the ring after Naomi's match as she defeated Tamina. And Lana debuted a new finishing move to Naomi. And I was very impressed with Lana. I mean, I'm kind of excited to see what she could do next inside this ring. Totally proved me wrong, totally proved half the world wrong that she can wrestle. So hopefully she could do some good this Sunday, and I'm excited to see it. Well, now for NXT news. NXT's Authors of Pain might have met their match in Heavy Machinery. These new challengers have been calling out the NXT Tag Champions for some weeks now, and hopefully we get to see these two teams match up in an explosive match. It's just a matter of time. Main event of this week's episode of NXT, we had a triple threat elimination match for the NXT Women's Championship as Asuka and Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross slugged it out in an all-out war. But Ruby suffering the first elimination, which left Asuka and Cross fighting, which escalated backstage and all around the arena. I mean, trust me, wrestling fans, this match was not disappointed. It was actually pretty cool. It actually got me wanting for more. Well, guess what? In 2 weeks' time, we will get just that. More. These two women, Asuka and Nikki Cross, will go one-on-one in a last woman standing match for the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, could it get any better than that? I don't think so. But that wraps up in this week's news. Got next up my up and down for the week and my match of the week and what moves. So, my up and down of the week. My down is the whole Raw Women's division. I mean, there's absolutely nothing going on there. I mean, Alexa Bliss, these last 3 weeks have been boring. I was so happy for you to become Raw Women's Champion, but now that you have got the belt, you have showed no interest in defending the belt in explosive matches. I mean, nothing can compare to the stuff that SmackDown or NXT is putting on, and I am fairly disappointed in Raw Women's division. Now, my up of the week is the whole women's division in a whole. SmackDown and NXT's. I mean, they're doing way more explosive things than Raw is, and I don't even know what Raw can do next to top what SmackDown's doing this Sunday, or even what NXT is going to be doing in 2 weeks' time. Tell me what you guys think. Is Raw Women's Division exciting or disappointing? My match of the week. Match of the week is Okada and Omega from Dominion in Osaka. I mean, these guys put on a clinic. I haven't seen a match like that since 1996 WrestleMania 12 Shawn Michaels versus HBK Iron Man match for 60 minutes. I mean, these guys wrestled for 60 minutes and we still cannot have a winner. And they didn't go for extra time or overtime. We just never had a winner. So I'm expecting to see a part 3. If you haven't checked it out, please find a way and check it out. My what news? Last week match was sick. I mean, I had a poll on Twitter, and it was the first time ever in Wrestling on the Rise history that we had a tie between these two moves. I mean, literally 50-50 for Macho Man and Shawn Michaels elbow drops. Trust me, this week is gonna be awesome. I mean, in honor of Sunday's history making Money in the Bank women's ladder match, I'm gonna say that we will see a moonsault off the ladder, which brings me to this week's matchup. The move is the moonsault. The two competitors are Lita and Charlotte Flair. I mean, both competitors have done the moonsault in their extreme circumstances. I mean, Charlotte Flair does it so good to the outside, nobody can top that. But then again, Lita does it so good inside the ring that she has defeated opponents and won women's championships with the move. So tell me what you think on Twitter, Wrestling on the One. And don't forget to use the hashtag Wrestling on the Rise. Comment on the video below of what you guys think. Now, I got my one-on-one interview with the amazing Canadian Lionel Knight. And I also have a surprise for you, so stay tuned, guys. Hey everybody, it's Rich Michaels here from Wrestling on the Rise. This is my surprise to you guys. I'm here at the Lucha TO event to interview the amazing Canadian Lionel Knight. What a blast it is. So far, it's a pretty good show. I'm gonna go in, watch the show, and I will have the interview with Lionel Knight in a couple of minutes. Michaels here from Wrestling on the Rise. Just finished watching amazing Canadian Lionel Knight perform, and it was an awesome match. Coming up next is my one-on-one sit-down interview with Lionel Knight. It's gonna be amazing. Alright. Hello wrestling world, I'm here in Toronto, Canada, home of one of the greatest wrestling independent scenes. I'm at Lucha Tio's Lucha Fest. As promised this week, my guests wrestle for UWA, CCW, Squared Circle, Smash Wrestling, and UPW Rochester, just to name a few. He is also a 3-time UWA Lightweight Champion, a UWA Grand Prix Champion, a UWA Canadian Champion. He is a 2-time Alpha One Tag Team Champion, a Squared Circle Tag Team Champion, a Union Wrestling Tag Team Champion, Zero Gravity Champion, C4 Tag Team Champion, and he is also the Crossbody Wrestling Champion. The only Triple Crown winner in UWA history. My guest, the amazing Canadian Lionel Knight.
You also forget to mention Black Lavender and the greatest baby that spring has ever sprung. The ladies call me Black Lavender.
Yes. Thank you, Lionel Knight. Thank you for coming to the show.
No problem.
Just got a couple questions to ask you.
Shoot!
All right. So, who's your influences in wrestling?
Influences in wrestling. Let me tell you something right now. My influences in wrestling, without a question, Booker T, Spin Rooney, Eddie Guerrero, and Shawn Michaels. Gotta say, Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat, he was a smaller guy, and obviously you gotta have Shawn Michaels. He's got the flamboyance, he's got the swag, he's got the charisma, he's got everything. So those are my 3 guys. Perfect ingredients to make Lionel Knight. Go ahead.
I love that answer.
Right.
All right. So you're in a tag team called Checkmate with Area Assassin Christopher Bishop.
Right.
Also, you teamed with one of your opponents that you wrestled today, Justin Sane. Do you think tag team wrestling could help a wrestler be a better singles competitor?
Better singles competitor. You see, I don't know. I started off as singles, then did a tag team and conquered that, and then went back to singles. You know, as far as I'm concerned, tag team wrestling's good, but you really want all the spotlight to yourself. Okay. I say singles wrestling's always better.
Yeah, he has that Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Okay, do you think wrestling is where it's supposed to be or where it needs to be?
It's getting close to where it's supposed to be. It's not exactly where it's supposed to be, only because I'm not in the WWE yet. Vince, I want my contract.
All right, there you go. You heard it first. He's calling it. What's your greatest accomplishment that you had in wrestling?
My greatest accomplishment in wrestling? I say my greatest accomplishment in wrestling would be becoming the first and only Triple Crown champion in UWA history. The only Triple Crown champion in UWA history. Of course, that's me.
Well, see that you have an impressive list of championships you've won. So what's next for you to conquer so far?
Power to the people. We came to do maintenance, and we are gonna rock like Dwayne when he came in. What's next for me? That contract I just told you. Didn't I just tell you that?
Yes, you did. Yes.
WWE contract. Vince will be calling me soon. You're gonna be doing this interview a year from now, and you're gonna be doing this with a high-profile wrestler, next MC champion.
You know you heard it first right here on Wrestling on the Rise. I'm Rich Michaels. That's Lionel Knight.
Rich Michaels.
Yes.
Rich Michaels.
Rich Michaels. That's me.
Rich Michaels. Rich Shawn Michaels.
No, we're not related. But thanks for the compliment. But no, we're not related. Yo.
I was doing an interview.
I heard you were supposed to do an interview.
I heard you did an interview.
I did do an interview.
What'd you do it with?
I can't remember the guy. When are you doing your interview?
I just finished mine. Like I just finished mine.
Where? With who?
This guy right here.
Don't remember.
Oh yeah. Hey man.
Rich Shawn Michaels, man.
No, where is just Rich Michaels?
What's your company name?
Wrestling on the Rise.
Wrestling on the Rise. Yeah. Don't I know you?
A couple weeks ago, we had an interview. Sit down, yeah.
Listen,
You kicked me off my show. Well, I guess that's it. Wrestling on the Rise. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to our channel, Wrestling on the Rise. Comment, and next week, it's a different. Oh God.